This is going to be a long video, boys, 45 minutes, and it's probably going to be longer because we're talking about it. But this is Hanani's video on the false bans that have been going on in Runescape, a lot of controversy about it. And you guys might remember the other week I put out a video saying I wanted to look into a lot of your guys' problems and be as unbiased about it as possible. And Hanani reached out to me shortly after that came out and said she's been working on something for the past few days. So I told her, go nuts, you make your video. I'm not going to touch it till I see what she's put out. So this is the video here. She's aware we're looking at it on stream too, so I don't need people crying in the comment section. She's all for it, and I'm keen to have a look at it. So let me know if the volume's too low, and let's see what she has discovered during the video.
Countless people wake up.
I'm going to try to be unbiased too as well, by the way. I know I've only started pausing, but let me turn that up a bit more. All right, 100% volume.
Every day with their RuneScape accounts just gone. Thousands of hours, sometimes even tens of thousands of hours vanished overnight. Sometimes their childhood memories taken from them. These people were falsely banned for seemingly no reason. You see, Jagex, they're intentionally obtuse with their reasoning. They refuse to tell anyone anything. What this does is leave legitimate players lost, questioning, and forgotten. So today, I want to try and help those people in the only way I can, which is talk a lot. I guess. I'm here to ask 3 questions. What triggers a false ban? How does the system work? And what are the systematic flaws that allow false bans? And what can you do watching to avoid getting your account falsely banned? Now, because Jagex will never tell us the parameters that cause someone to lose their account, it's up to us to figure it out. So this is the most fun section. What triggers a false ban? I talked to a couple hundred people and recorded some of those interviews to figure out any common patterns, any prevailing theories, and in that research I found 11 theories that may... asterisk.
So we've got reports, efficiency, player behavior, login behavior, sleeper accounts. What's a sleeper account? Would that be like a baby account or something? Account age, IPs and VPNs, racism, GP transfers, names, and Runelight plugins. Why is Toon dressed like that? Oh, you can dress your Toon however you want. We're not going to acknowledge her share. I don't know what that means. So I don't know what sleeper accounts is, but these are some good points to start with at least.
Be the reason. But before we go into that, little disclaimer. At the risk of undermining this entire video before it even begins, humans are inherently unreliable narrators. I did my best to vet these people, but people may misremember the past. People may exaggerate certain details.
Yeah. That's one problem I had when a lot of people... I was trying to read through some of the reports people gave me of their false bans, and a lot of... like, everyone's shit is just all over the place. People don't know, like, people don't even know, like, why they were banned and won't really give me any information on, like, what they were even doing before they were banned. Whether they forget or not, I don't know. I've been openly racist for years and never got banned, so that's cap. Well, you're also, like, who the fuck are you, you know? So I think it's a bit, I completely understand. Like, someone's just messaged me and says, hello, bro, please help me. I got banned for no reason. And that's it. What the fuck do you want me to do with that message? Like, what do you want from me with that? And then there's also other people who have sent paragraphs and paragraphs of bans and video footage. So it's a lot of vetting to do. So I totally get that, for sure. Hersher, I don't know what Hersher is either. Isn't that like a car or something? I'm only racist towards green helmets. That's understandable. And white helm.
Where there are no patterns, they'll find meaning in the meaningless. So, this video is a lesson in critical thinking. The other thing is we will be going very in-depth in the ban system. If you are an illegitimate player, if you are a botter, do me a favor and don't watch the video, because Jagex is going to get very mad at me revealing all their secrets. And you know what, even if you are a legitimate player and this video inspires you to bot, here is an example from an ex-player moderator. They
decided I would use an auto-clicker to try and get some gains in Nightmare Zone. Figured because I was only using it for a couple minutes a day, it would go unnoticed, and lo and behold, I was issued a major macroing ban, and it was unappealable, and I lost my account, which was player moderator. What you're going to gain...
It's always an Aussie that's cheating. as well. But I also, this is a hot take that's not related to the video. I think player mods are bad for the game, and I think all P mods should be removed from their status. Player mods provide no positive impact on RuneScape or any online game. To be honest, you shouldn't be giving players the power of mod. It's that simple.
From just a little bit of auto clicking is not worth the time that you have spent building your account, no matter how long you've been playing.
And the last bit of home cleaning, I promise this is the last one. This is again a large, complicated issue that is no one single person's fault. Please do not harass any of the J mods or go after them. It is a issue that has compounded over 20 years of RuneScape's existence, brought on by just a lot of things that are out of the individual developer's control. No one bad apple caused all the problems. But now, it's time for fun. So, what triggers a false ban? The first theory is reports. So if you don't know what a report is, in-game, you can right-click any player and select report. And this will send a little notification to JX to be like, hey, I think this person is botting. I think this person has an offensive name. Or all the other examples you see on screen now. The big prevailing theory is that these reports are the main cause of false bans, where someone receives a disproportionately large amount of reports that are entirely incorrect. Now, to explore this theory, I would like to introduce you to a niche community in RuneScape known as the multi-loggers.
Yeah, hi, I'm Crumb. I did videos on RuneScape abuse, specifically in 2021, did a story with a bunch of multi-loggers who were getting false banned at unprecedented rates compared to the normal RuneScape population.
These people play on 5 to 100 different
Is this
accounts.
one person's fucking screen? Could you imagine going to a live stream and just seeing this? This is someone called Blade, by the way, behind me there. If you went to a live stream and you saw this, like, oh, I would just turn it off immediately. This is insane. How the fuck? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18... No, people like this deserve to be banned just for being autistic. If I see you streaming all that, then I'm out. This is insane, man. Why are you splashing on so many rats? That's crazy.
Same time and receive a disproportional amount of reports because they look so much like bots to the average player.
Originally started these accounts like as woodcutters actually, and I gave up quickly because it was boring.
Alright, well, you know what, I don't actually think I need this fucking interview.
It took like a few days and these accounts got banned instantly, and I realized that they were most likely spam reported.
I go by Randy. I run a channel. There's some exploits in there.
Just a few, just a couple exploits you do, you
just some.
And when asking Randy about false bans,
Well, obviously, none of them are false. They're all real. I'll admit it. No, I'm kidding. I think it's just the report system, honestly. If people get reported a lot, they tend to pick up a ban. And you can see this through people who do multi-logging. I have a friend named Blade who literally gets banned every other week.
Blade is one of the big multi-loggers. You know what? It's good enough. Alright, fine, go again.
Alright, here we go.
Yeah, well, okay. Go.
Hey, I'm Blade. Oh, here we go.
I think I don't know if I don't know about multi-logging, but I know that there's been. I mean, I'm not going to name who, but I know of people who use auto clickers and they use it inside private instances, and they have never been banned. Which is what someone said earlier. That guy said about what's it called? About doing it in Nightmare Zone, and he received a ban, the ex-player mod. But I know many people who auto-click inside private instances in the game, and they don't get banned. Yeah, so I don't know how much the report system is actually affecting it. I don't know if the reports, like, I don't know really personally, but I know that a lot of people do that to avoid being banned. They'll just auto-click, like, AWST, where no other player will ever see them. So the auto report system, because you can get that plugin now. What's it called? Auto bot detection. That won't scan and like auto report them. I don't have multi-login, but got disabled. Bad luck.
Hey, I'm Blade, by the way. I basically play a lot of accounts.
Look at this shit.
And I used to stream
Look at the monitor over there. This is insane, man. It's the same guy. And you're doing Romeo and Juliet. Man, this is insane. Fuck me. Why are your other 3 monitors turned off? Turn them on. That is fucking insane, man. Holy shit.
on Twitch back in the day. So I've got 100 alts that I've actively played on and that I kind of see as my 100 account project. All those 100 alts have 99 magic, which I have trained in free-to-play, splashing rats. Mostly rats. I've also splashed spiders and chickens or whatever, just splashing.
Alright, you don't... I'm gonna cut that out. You know I'm gonna cut that out.
Yeah.
You don't need to specifically tell me which animal you're splashing.
So all those 100 alts, they've
that,
all
just
basically been
ban.
over 3 times. I don't think there's a single alt that has not been
really?
banned 3 times.
And he only gets banned when he puts all his accounts in the same world and sets them next to each other at the GE and like does it for fun and like, you know, flexes on people.
The main issue is reports.
People even say in the chat, like the day before he gets banned, like, oh my god, look, it's a botter, and they'll all report him at the GE.
My name's Expected Value Runescape.
Yeah, shut up, dickhead. I'd imagine I'd imagine the report system probably is linked to it. And there's probably, like, you'd be reported, right? And it won't just be like, oh, report, this guy must be botting. It'd be a report, and then there would be a check that goes on behind it. And I would imagine what's doing the checks on the other end, on JX's end, is probably just ticking off certain boxes. And by multi-logging to 30 accounts on one computer, they're all being reported at the same IP. That probably is just like an automated check that just filters into categorized as potential rule breaker rather than actually going any deeper. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's probably what's likely happening if it is related to reports. Aren't those players just selling accounts? Or are they made so they can make... I don't know what they're doing, but it's likely they're overselling the accounts or using them to farm a fuck ton of gold. It's one of the two. Maybe if JX actually had a working bot detection system, people wouldn't need to report and lead to false bans. Well, you should always have an in-game report system regardless. Would you want to make that many alts for money making a main, or maybe selling accounts? That's the thing, right? But there's no evidence of him selling accounts. But, like, you know, if it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, BTC is very well traded. So it's likely that that's what's happening. But that's not why he's getting banned, and he's not even getting to that point to even get banned. But it's like I would assume that if reports are coming in, the automated system is then just checking, and all it sees is this cunt has 30 fucking clients on the computer. They're all doing the exact same thing. This could be a ban. This could be a bot. Because there's, like... I don't know how bot detection works. I don't know how you detect if someone's using an auto-clicker. How can you tell that it's not my mouse moving and doing this rather than a program doing it and making it look like that my mouse is actually moving, you know? Who fucking knows? I think if you're playing with that many accounts on one computer at the same time, like, you're pushing the line of what is considered botting from an automated system, you know? There's no human check there unless it is then reviewed. If one account gets banned on your IP, the rest will also? Likely, yeah, I'd say so, especially if they're all doing the same thing with the same behavior.
Is it expected value?
Did you not know that's what it
Is
says?
that what EV stands for?
But I actually did also just recently get banned on one of my accounts.
Wait, really? I didn't know this. Oh, one of your multi-loggers?
Literally just one. I was splashing on all of the accounts at the same time and just one of them got banned.
Yeah, so the really weird part about multi-logger bans is when you get hit, it's usually never all the accounts.
You ban one of my accounts, there's no way I'm cheating on only one. Either ban everything or the one ban you gave me was false.
Yeah.
Or, now that I've interviewed a lot of multi-loggers about this, if I was a botter, I would also play on 70 accounts on the side.
That's what
I think
botters
it would
do.
have something to do with just getting reported a lot of times, right?
Now, this report theory is not just corroborated by the multi-logging community, but also PKers claim that they get reported a lot when they kill people and piss them off, basically.
I kill a lot of bots inside the Rev Caves, right? I feel that the bots are possibly automatically programmed to report anyone who attacks them. That's the other thing. I get reported in LMS all the time. After a final, someone might be going, "Ah, you were a rat. I'm reporting you."
And not only just multi-loggers and PKers, but also autistic people. But
I had a whopping 1 million dust on my account when I got hit with a macro major on my account out of nowhere. I do believe people reported me as a bot. I literally have a folder of every time I've been called a bot since becoming a member. I'm not botting, I'm just autistic. I enjoy doing the same thing for hours and shouldn't be penalised or banned for it.
so now, how legitimate are these claims? Obviously nothing against these people, but I asked the developer of the bot detector plugin.
Ferraric. I am one of the original owners of the bot detector plugin,
which, if you don't know, is a plugin that basically measures player activity across all accounts and determines the percentage of how likely that person is to be a bot. And this is what Ferraric had to say when asked if reports play a big role in false bans.
I would probably say no, because if you look at the average player, they don't really know what a bot is from their perspective. If the average player reports someone, nothing's really going to come of it because their accuracy is so low.
But I also managed to get a hold of the man who gave me both a childhood and a career.
My name is Matt, also known as Matt K, previously known as Mod Matt K.
The man himself, one of the greatest J-mod we've ever had.
Jagex for almost 15 years, from the launch of Oldschool Runescape, all the way through to, what, 2019?
So how much does the report system play into it? Because people theorize that you get mass reported, you get banned. But surely it's no. So
no. Jagex are well aware that the reports are a bunch of rubbish. You should never rely on them 100%. I mean, they're not a bunch of rubbish. So somebody gets reported 10,000 times, there's probably something dodgy going on, and that's something that needs to happen with that account, right? But they're not going to just look at that 10,000 reports coming in and hit the ban button. The way it will probably work is they'll probably see, right, huge amount of reports against an account. Let's look at the other metrics and things that we capture to find out what's actually going on. And it could be that there's nothing else going on. It's just somebody getting reported a lot because they're a dick. If you get reported, mass reported by people, you don't get banned.
So at this point, I was pretty convinced. I don't think mass reports really play that large of a role. Ignoring that this is probably the longest segment of the video, but it's interesting.
Yep.
Fuck off. And I got more. So I wanted to put this to the test myself, so I logged into one of my old alts. Alright, we're gonna try and get Little Hannah false banned. And I streamed, and I got everyone watching that stream to mass report that account. Do bots walk like this? Yeah, this is the bot walk. Moving on up to the GE to sell my illicit game.
this won't get you banned.
Not only everyone watching, but as many people as I can find in-game to try and report me. To see if an account acting completely normally, just with a lot of
It should be banned, though, because it's an Ultimate Ironman. But I was here for this stream, actually, for a little bit at least. Yeah, just walking around getting reported wouldn't get you banned, no. You'd have to be doing something that triggers the system. I just see reports as adding a team attempt flag to the account, so Jagex takes a second look. Well, we've mass reported people before and gotten them muted, right? We've done that many times as a stream. But I think reports will only count if they're accurate, right? So, like, mass reporting an account that's just walking around, it's going to be like, nah, this ain't no fucking bot. But if you've got someone who's got, like, if you see someone splashing rats, enough people go through and report, not mass report, so it's not 1,000 reports within an hour, but if it's like, 1,000 reports over 7 days, then it's probably going to cop a ban, right? It probably looks more like, okay, this is someone that they're being reported for botting. Their behavior for the past 7 days looks like it's botting behavior. The system just goes, yep. Must be a bot ban. And then you go for the appeal where a human actually looks at it and then goes, oh, this guy's just some donkey AFKing, or no, it's actually a bot. Like, that's what I'd imagine is happening with the report theory, at least.
Would actually trigger a ban. I think this is gonna be my cage-locked bot, okay? Honestly, Jagex should do that. Rather than, like, banning bots, they should just permanently lock them in a cage.
That's actually pretty funny.
Just have a whole area that's just caged up bots and people can throw tomatoes at them. And obviously, no, they're not banned. That was about a week and a half ago. They're still completely fine. I'm gonna put to rest that I don't think reports have any effect on bans. Okay. But that brings us to our second theory. This might be a long video.
I think reports do have an effect on bans. It's just minor, personally. That's my opinion. It definitely has an effect on mutes because we've 100% gotten people in the clan. Even like we've gotten like Easto muted in the clan how many times, which has been a blessing, by the way. Keep reporting him for just any time he talks. But I would say that it's not a main contributing factor. Spam reporting probably does not work. No.
But that brings us to our second theory. This might be a long video. The second theory is efficiency. Can you play so tick perfect that you are indistinguishable from a bot? Our example for this theory is my good friend Ingus.
I was basically speedrunning the account to get as far as I can in 24 hours. Even down to the money makers as well. I wasn't trading any money over. I only played for like 3 hours. I was like, all right, I'll continue this in the morning. Woke up the next morning and could not log in. I was banned. I was trying my best not to lose any ticks, I'll tell you what.
Now again, asking my two favorite people who are going to answer all of the questions for us.
So you could track how much XP people get over time, how many hours somebody plays. There's two very basic metrics that you can use. And when we first started looking at botting back in 2005, these were the sort of metrics we would use back then. So how many hours a day does somebody play? So if this account's playing 17 hours a day, then it comes up as this is probably quite a dodgy account because nobody should be playing 17 hours a day. We now know that
some do.
How
you just should give them a mental health check.
Yeah, after another 20 years of internet gaming, that people do play 24 hours a day. So that's no longer true, but this is the stuff that we were using 20 years ago. So I can't imagine they'd be using those basic metrics now.
There's micro variances between every character, no matter how efficient you think you are. There may be pauses and delays, but the big thing is looking at the big picture of patterns.
Behavior would on how you're interacting with the game, how you move around the game, how all the different ways of interfacing with it as well. There's huge amounts of stuff they could use which would be better than that.
Well, if this was the case, like if it came down to patterns and people sit there doing 3-tick granite mining for hours on end, of course they'd probably take breaks in between, but like you can see that there's just people even going for like, I don't know if this is probably too short, but 15-20 minutes of just 3-tick granite mining, doing it for like an hour of just non-stop is excruciatingly painful. But like, wouldn't you think that would trigger the system? Maybe not, I don't know, but it's just like all you're repeating the same 4 actions for an hour, hours sometimes on end. I'd have been banned a long time ago if daily playtime was factored in. Oh, absolutely. But now, like, random events don't kill you anymore. AFKing has become such a core aspect of RuneScape that playing for hours on end just means being logged in now. 25-minute logout timer. You can play this game forever. They won't be exactly tick perfect, though, the whole time. Any bot would probably be 100% tick perfect. I think bots are also programmed to not be tick perfect for that purpose, right? They used to be, but now like it's intentional that they take short breaks. Like botters take breaks. Botters make it so like they'll every so often skip a couple ticks or something. They're not tick perfect. Otherwise, you will know it's a bot. I got banned and then squashed for 3-tick chins and not chatting to the people, calling me a bot. That was 4 years ago. It got quashed, which means that you were false banned, and then it being quashed, which is the system doing its job, right? We need random events to slap bots again, yeah. The problem is, right, that hasn't been addressed yet in this video, that I hope isn't ignored, that people are ignoring, is that people are getting false banned, all right, or claiming to be false banned, and then when they appeal, the appeal is denied. So I hope that the appeals come up in this video, because that's the thing. It's about your appeal being denied, not the appeal being quashed. Or sorry, not the appeal. Yes, being denied, not quashed. My bad. Yeah. So and a lot of people are having their appeals denied. I know that they have the ban gets automated. The automated ban gets sent off to somewhere in like Poland or some shit, or Netherlands or somewhere in Europe where no one gives a fuck, and they have like less than a minute to like react to it or some shit. I don't remember exactly how it works, but I know that it's outsourced, like it's a third-party ban check system, apparently. So hopefully that comes up in this video, at least.
Unless they've rolled back their thinking by 20 years, I can't imagine they'd use things like that. It seems really naive, I think.
They outsource their banning.
So to summarize that real quick, I'm sort of superfluous here. I'm not going to lie. I don't think efficiency plays a huge role. No. I think it's less that you are so tick perfect that you are indistinguishable from a robot, and more that a robot would be doing the same actions that you are doing at that time. Now that leads us directly into the third theory. Player behavior. Does someone mimicking the actions of what a bot usually does result in the system thinking they themselves are a bot?
I've made 10 free-to-play runesmithing alts that I play on at the same time. I assume it was just banned because it was doing something bots normally do and not normal players.
Hold on, 99s are for nerds. This is some cunt that comes to my stream. Don't you have 98 in all of your stats on one account? I recognize that fucking name. I'm pretty sure you're some cunt that I mean, given the name, but I'm pretty sure he's been in this chat before. You need fucking help, especially if you're playing like this. Look at this, man. He's fucking smithing two-handers, but you got 99 smithing. Maybe it's someone else then with a similar name to you. Don't worry, ignore me.
It was just banned because it was doing something bots normally do and not normal players.
Now, when I asked Ferraric about this behavior tracking, he had actually created a graph that essentially tracks bot farms.
I made one that took all the data in our database. It found when each account was seen with another account and ignored the world number. I then do that for the entire database, and I find out when each account is seen most with one another
Jesus
account.
Christ.
So you can see here that a bot farm owner will log into all of his accounts in his farm at the same time, put them on different worlds or the same world, and then log them all off at the same time. And so you can tell when a farm comes online and comes offline.
And I assume that
Fucking
Jagex
hell.
does a similar system on their end, which increases the likelihood.
Look, just Jordan and anyone else, I saw it earlier, people trying to like make jokes about trans and shit. I don't give a fuck. Okay, we're here to watch a Hanani video. We're not here to be ignorant assholes on the internet, okay? Who gives a fuck if Hanani is trans or anything, alright? Who cares? We're here for the Jagex band. Stop being a cringe cunt, alright? Please. I'm trying to have a good time with my chat, watch a video, and steal some content to upload for myself for some free views. I don't care about your narrow-minded view of the Jedi, alright? Shut the fuck up. Don't time them out next time, just ban them. I don't care. I just don't have time for your pettiness. I couldn't give 2/3 of a shit.
That you will be banned if you were doing a similar activity to bots at a similar frequency, I guess. That'll go into the next theory. Spoiler alerts.
And what solved, it didn't solve the issue for me, but it reduced the ban rate, is just spreading my alts around.
And this helps explain why Blade was experiencing less false bans the more separate his accounts were.
Like basically every alt had a unique spot, made me get banned at least 5 times less.
They look less like a bot farm the less unified
That's
their
interesting.
activities are.
The multi-loggers all log in at the same time. They all do the exact same thing, and then they get falsely banned. Their whole play style is that they work as like a hive mind sort of collective. You know, you got like a bunch of accounts all doing the same thing. That is pretty much one-to-one with what a bot farm is, except obviously they're not being automated, they're being controlled by a player. They would have to like completely remove themselves from their play style to not get detected.
I think this could explain the increased amount of false bans around star mining.
From star mining, I got spam reported and falsely banned on those accounts.
I think that's actually a good point, player behavior, because at the end of the day, when you think about it, when you're multi-logging, you are unintentionally mimicking the same behavior that bot farms have, right? Bot farms log in at the same time, do the same shit, log out at the same time. It's exactly what multi-loggers do, right? So I think that makes a whole lot of sense. And that makes sense that could be a reason people are getting these bans at least, especially the multi-loggers. What's up, mate? Not based. If someone else's sexuality sways your ideals, you have zero personality. That's the reality. It doesn't matter what you think. You're a subjective thinker. You're not a realist. You're a fucking retard. It's got nothing to do with someone's sexuality swaying anyone's ideals. It's got to do with the fact that we're watching a video. And our focus and the topic is about this video. Not about anything else. Not me. Regardless. You're talking to the other person. It doesn't matter. Okay? Just so everyone's on the same page.
Which is a very commonly
Skip the
botted
subject.
activity. And not only is it very commonly botted, but it's very commonly botted in the same place at the same time. Players begin to merge in with the bots, if that makes sense. Which leads us neatly into Theory 4, which is sort of Theory 3. Subtitles are hard. So Theory 4 is that the login time matters. So when you log into your account, when you log out of your account, if you do that every day, consistently, play for the same length of time in essentially a robotic manner, you will be seen by the system as more likely to be a bot.
You know when someone's running a bot because they're always online, but you know when someone's playing legitimately because they log in sporadically like someone who's got a life does.
The big thing is looking at patterns, right?
It's probably to do with like your playing patterns just coinciding
The
with
name, Real
other...
World Trader.
bot. So you're probably playing like a fixed amount of time for a few days.
Do you log in at the same time every day?
Yes, I literally log in at about 10 a.m. every morning.
Do you log off at the same time?
Yes, at about 11:30 p.m. every night.
Like consistently every day?
I'd say it would be freakishly close how often my login times were the same every morning.
If you're coincidentally logging in and off at the same time as a bot farm owner in the same area,
You'd have to be like very, very consistent over and over again for it to work.
so honestly, I think those two are by far the most
I don't know. I think
influential-
login behavior is a bit I mean, this is going off of my personal experience. I would say I probably log in and maybe my personal login and log off times are a bit different. It does vary, but I don't think that matters. Like, you'd have to be down to the exact same second, right? Well, bot farms, technically, I don't know what their break intervals are like, but does it have to come down to the exact same minute or roughly the same time? Because, yeah, I do log in roughly at the same time every day then, but not down to the same minute. I might be like 10 minutes either side often, but I'm also playing on mobile a lot. Like, does that make a difference? I'm not really sure. I think login behavior might be a miss on this one. I don't know. It depends again. Like the best way to look at this, if you want to link it to macroing, is to get the information from a bot farm and see their behaviors on when they decide to, if they decide to take breaks with the farms, how consistent. It depends on the type of bot farm. Is it a teleporting bot farm or is it like a woodcutting bot farm? Like, they obviously would have different intervals and be logging into different areas of the game. So I don't know. I log on every day when I start work to AFK Carambrines or Star Mine. I'm not banned, so I don't buy it too much. A lot of people, when they do play at work, which is very common now, especially with mobile, do that exactly, yeah. So I don't know, login behavior is probably a miss for me personally. I would say player behavior is the... Player behavior, and I would say reports would be the top two for me currently. I think reports, mass reporting wouldn't matter, but reports definitely flag an account to be looked by the system, I'd imagine. Maybe longer behavior as well as play behavior in tandem. I guess that would be the case, right? How precise to the minute would it need to be? But that's the question.
Parameters in deciding if someone is a bot is
Spelled
player
racism
behavior.
wrong, yeah.
But we still got 7 more theories, so strap in. This next one's really interesting though. There is this theory in botters known as sleeping an account. I'll let Farah explain.
For a bot network, they'll basically make a bunch of accounts and then they'll sleep them, which means that they won't log into them, but they'll keep the hours under a certain amount. And then later on, they'll relog into them to try to circumvent like an initial timer of gameplay. To be honest with you, that's a complicated topic. I'm sure that's changed quite a bit.
So are you saying that accounts are more likely to be banned earlier in their life cycle?
I would say that that's what I've seen so far.
Yeah.
I don't know if that correlates 1-to-1, but that's what I've seen.
So this sleeper theory posits that if you create an account, wait a few years, and then log into the account, you are disproportionately more likely to be falsely banned, which seems far-fetched, but I do have a few stories that corroborate this that have no other logical explanation.
So the thing is, though, is I've had reports from people being false banned on brand new accounts as well. So this is where the topic of false bans gets complicated, that there's no similarity, no direct similarity, because some people have old accounts with 200 mil XP to get banned, but then there's some people who have group Ironman accounts that are 10 days old that are getting false banned. But you also see bots running on Tutorial Island, right? You see them being made and running out there. I want to say back in 2014, when I was originally banned for botting on my first Oldschool account, my original Runescape 3 account, I made a brand new account and started a bot on it instantly to see how long it would take to get banned. And I got banned within, I want to say within like a 20-minute period straight off Tutorial Island. I want to say, I mean, that was about 10 years ago now. So the system, I'd imagine, has changed completely since then. But I believe that there is a system in place that checks your account, that like, there's a cooling off period, but I would imagine it wouldn't be more than like a couple weeks for sure. Like after the account's been logged in or played for long enough, you probably are not looked at as much by the system, I'd imagine. Sleeper accounts are real enough for account sellers to believe in it? Yeah, I guess so.
SRS came out, when Oldschool came out, I was excited to be kind of nostalgic. I logged in, did Tutorial Island, moved on, walked around Lumbridge for a minute, and that was it. I kind of never logged in again. So I didn't log in for, I don't know, maths, like 7 years roughly. Yeah, so I was kind of playing consistently, sort of daily for a good few weeks. Just one day out of the blue, I found out that my account got banned.
You would be surprised how many stories I heard like this. More than you would expect for something that's completely not measured by JX. This one is probably my biggest conspiracy theory, but I think it definitely plays some sort of a role. The logical extension of this sleeper theory is that new players are more likely to be banned the earlier in their account than later. That's the only reason botters would subscribe to making sleeper accounts.
I just hope it's not happening to genuine new players.
My friend convinces me to get membership. I don't know anything about membership whatsoever, so I'm following him around the whole entire time. We call it quits for the day. I log in the next day and it says I have a macro ban.
I had the account for 1 day, logged out at Willow's, and then I logged in the next day and it told me I was banned.
Queer cat girl.
Yeah, it was called Queer
God,
Cat
you're
Girl.
a
It's my
walking
UIM.
fucking
deserves a ban.
stereotype. This one, I think, genuinely might be the most damaging to the game.
It's really awful because that was my first like membership experience.
Having the new player experience result in permanently losing your account for seemingly no reason. So many people must have quit playing the game.
I have a theory that might not be on this list unless it's under RuneLite plugins. I have a theory that people are using the wrong client. People are using a RuneLite client that isn't the official RuneLite client, which a lot of people used to do until they went through the website at least to RuneLite, which is available right there. I have a theory that some people are using third-party clients and telling porcupines, because we've heard many stories where people have been like, that they've come to the stream chat even and been like, hey, I got hacked, I got scammed because I downloaded a plugin from a website someone told me to download. I was in a Discord, someone told me to get this client, and then my screen went black. People could be taking advice from other players to use clients that aren't allowed to be used. For example, just on the 28th of January this year, there was a third-party client ban wave, and there was another one on the 3rd of January this year as well, around when these false ban claims came along. I'm not saying these people are using third-party clients, but there's a third-party client ban wave that happened on the 3rd of January and another one on the 28th of January, and there's likely another one coming very soon. If you're getting mixed in with these third-party client bans, are you using the right RuneLite client? People can run things through RuneLite now or through the launcher as well, so I don't know, but it's completely possible. 100% along with people lying about using injections, APIs that put cheating plugins on normal RuneLite. Exactly.
But next
like
on
the guy
list,
that was brand new account and he's like, oh, I got banned on my first time playing as member. Who, like, when your mate sent you the RuneLite client link, was it the correct link? Did he even send you RuneLite? What client were you actually using? I don't think boss bans are even a problem. The problem is the appeal process, for which some reason involves Twitter. That's exactly what I said earlier. It's not about getting false banned. If you're getting false banned, or if you believe you're being false banned, it's likely that the system is actually working properly, as annoying as it is. It's the appeal system that's a problem, because if the appeal system says quashed and they refund you your membership, it's inconvenient, it's annoying, but it's a sign that the system is working to a degree. Now, the false ban, the system working and false banning people needs to be rectified still, of course, but if the appeal system is not working, then the whole system falls apart, right? Now, if your appeal is being denied immediately, then that tells you that something is being automated on the other end where it shouldn't be. An appeal should be a human review. If the appeal system is saying your appeal has been denied, then it's likely, it should be more than likely that you've done something wrong, because there is no benefit for a JMod to just be like, fuck this guy, ban him, right? I don't see the incentive. Unless they just want to purely be an asshole, it doesn't make sense that a JMod would just want to ban you if your account looks clean. But again, it would be great if we had some transparency from JX, but we don't. And I understand why they won't. How do we know RuneLite plugins aren't keyloggers? Conspiracy 101. Because when you go to RuneLite up the top here, it says external plugins are verified to not be malicious or rule breaking, but are not maintained by RuneLite developers. They may cause bugs or instability. So these are scrutinized before they go into the hub, meaning that they won't be at least malicious or rule breaking. Although when they're updated, does that change anything? I believe you can see every single change to every plugin and update. I don't know if it's verified when they're updated and changed. I'm not sure. So it could be plugin related. But you would be able to see it at least on the website. People will be able to find that's not meant to be there. That's what's causing bans. Unless your name is Trident. Trident was banning people who had broken rules. So Trident wasn't just banning innocent players, right? Like anyone mod Trident banned legitimately had broken the rules, whether they were trading or macroing, right? From what I understood from the situation at least. The problem was he was only inspecting accounts when Stella told him to look at them, right? He was being given handpicked names over a bias, and he was also handing out bans that were too long, that didn't fit the crime, right? People were being punished further than they should have been. For example, Odablock's permaban when it should have only been a 2-week ban. But the people that were being banned through Mod Trident were legitimately breaking the rules at some point. Whether it was ethical or not, I don't know for his part. But, well, from banning people that had made a mistake 2 years ago, do they deserve a ban? Sure, why not? I don't know. It's up to you. But he wasn't just banning anyone who was innocent, as far as I know.
First is one that I'm sure a lot of you have been thinking about is IPs. People have this theory about VPN usage. If you use a commonly botted on VPN, you will yourself be seen as a bot.
Well, I've eliminated a few things. So I use VPNs to log a lot of alts into one world, and I did get a warning that the IPs I was using has been botted on before.
If you're using the same VPN that a real-world trading company uses, then you're probably going to get flagged and something bad's going to happen to you if you do that. This could well still be how Jagex tracked big real-world trading companies.
And this ties into
how the fuck
racism.
would you know if a real-world trading company is going to have a VPN? What happens then? That doesn't make a lot of sense, does it? Maybe I'm wrong, but maybe I misunderstand how VPNs work. Why should that fucking matter? Can you tell what VPN someone's using? If I had NordVPN, for example, which is not sponsored, by the way, how would you know I've got NordVPN? It would just say that I'm somewhere else, right? Isn't that the point of a VPN? They won't even let me log in if I turn my VPN on anymore. That's weird. When you said hub, that iconic music played in my head, you need help. The smart botters don't worry about VPNs, they worry about proxies. I'd imagine VPNs are probably relevant to botters, right?
Some people have a theory that Jagex disproportionately will target
Doesn't make
people
sense.
from certain countries.
It's probably because the count is too new.
Oh, hold on. That was racism. This is important. This is us.
Bad's going to happen to you if you do that. This could well still be how Jagex tracked big real-world trading companies.
And this ties into racism. Some people have a theory that Jagex disproportionately will target people from certain countries.
It's probably because the count is too new. You're playing on an IP, which is a country that Jagex doesn't like. So if you're playing from Venezuela, from Argentina, Peru, Chile, Brazil, Bolivia,
really? Why?
Any third world country, it just skyrockets the ban chance.
You're saying that Jagex is racist?
Nah, I'm not saying they're racist, but
so they might be a little bit racist.
Especially if you're from Venezuela. Venezuela is the death beam of bans.
I think that goes towards the IP thing, right? What IP is logging in from where and how often. So I wouldn't be able to tell you if they're looking more at Venezuelan accounts or Chinese accounts.
That one's inconclusive, but theories are fun because they don't need...
Yeah, I don't think racism is playing a part in this.
The whole video is a thought experiment. Critical thinking, I said that at the start. But this leads us on to the next major one, I'll say, is GP. Everyone thinks this. Does large quantities of GP transferring across accounts result in a ban? And our little example for this one is my good friend Gurg. Not how you pronounce his name.
I got falsely banned for real world trading right before I was doing a giveaway. Instead, the person didn't want it. They just said, "Oh, drop it on the floor." Right after doing that, I got perm banned. Literally 5 minutes later.
Large GP transfers would be a trigger. That's what I would say, versus just a static amount on your account. And there are places where people do gold transfers in terms of the illegitimate way. Generally, the place is a low-level account trading gold to a high-level account or another account on Lumbridge Castle and a free-to-play world. That's the main place. If you go there and you stay there long enough, you're gonna see an account log in, transfer the gold, and just log off immediately.
The ban specified that I was a gold farming mule or something. You know, it probably did look a bit dodgy.
To be fair, I think muling and giveaway look exactly the same on the Jagex system. You have an account you log into 5 minutes a day to sell off stuff that you don't need in your Iron, and they thought it was a bot.
It was like no stats.
I feel like something would happen there, but I would think that if they're logging from the same IP and stuff, you should be okay. But yeah, I think that could probably trigger something because you are having that account transfer a bunch of gold to another account.
So large quantities of GP being transferred across.
We've heard about this happening a lot, and it's my understanding that with GP transfers, a lot of the cases, it's been because it's like, for example, old mate Gurge getting banned there. It's possible that the guy that told him that he traded and said just drop it, it's likely that guy was a real trader. Although that is real trade, obviously, behavior, just giving someone money for nothing. It's my understanding that provided you haven't legitimately real traded and you get this sort of ban, it often gets quashed once it is looked at. I don't think I've heard of, not from what I've seen exactly going through a lot of the requests. I haven't gone through all of them because there's 61 on Discord and I think there's about 48 on Twitter. But from what I've seen, a lot of the time they're getting their ban appeals quashed if it's related to real world trade. Otherwise, they're being denied if it's a macro one. So I would say that the real world trade system is just detecting more real world trade behavior, but it's not linked to botting, of course. If they run the bots through a proxy when they appeal to get the account back, it seems more like they've been hacked. It works. I don't think being hacked matters, right? If your account gets banned for botting but it was hacked, I don't think Jagex really cares too much a lot of the time. I have a mate who was hacked recently, turned into a CG bot. He took all the money off of it, it got banned. I don't know if he tried to get it back or anything, but I don't think it matters if you were hacked to Jagex.
Is, I think, 100% a metric they use to determine if someone
absolutely
is doing
GP
something
transfers.
legit. And now for a little lightning round of theories that are definitely wrong. A big one that...
I'm worried about getting banned because my boyfriend basically gives me everything, GP gear, etc., and I'm sure people use that excuse a lot. If he's not giving, unless he's giving you billions of gold or like hundreds of millions of gold constantly, you should be fine, I'd imagine. Especially if he hasn't real traded either, you should be fine. I've got multiple accounts back from the start of OS that were hijacked and botted on. Yeah, I've never had an account hacked for botting or anything like that. I've never had an account hacked, but I have made accounts and just transferred a shit ton of money to it instantly to get it going. And that's totally fine. I've never had a problem with it, but that's because I don't have any links with real world trading.
Coming up is proximity to bot farms. Just being near a bot farm will get you falsely banned.
I know for a fact that people have gone out to last man standing or whatever. They've been near bots or whatever, and next thing you know, they've been flagged as botting last man standing. There's many a time when I've been running around somewhere and I've been near a bot farm and someone's turned around and gone, "Oh, you're a bot reported," and it's just like, hang on, I'm just running past this area.
Yeah, no. I don't think they walk past the bot. No, I wouldn't say
okay.
So. Yeah, I would say that's unlikely.
There's no way.
It's something else.
Yeah. I've played enough LMS to know that that's not a fucking choice. That's not happening at all. Especially, considering how many games of LMS we've played on stream as well. We've hung around enough bot farms. There's no way that's a thing.
Did get banned and it was falsely banned. I would say something else triggered it, not passing by a bot farm.
The next one is, do names have anything to do with bot detection?
You can be named anything. Like, what's in a name? We actually did an analysis on our end to see about the accounts that were banned for names versus not names. The average player will name themselves like Runeslayer 48 and a bot will name themselves Runeslayer 49. Like, the name doesn't really mean too much. Okay. It's a personal choice.
And then the last one is RuneLite plugins. Are there some unstable RuneLite plugins that'll get you banned?
No, I wouldn't say so. I would think that all the plugins on the plugin hub have been really well vetted by the RuneLite team.
But it has that little warning that pops up.
They really do like an incredible job of making sure that all of the plugins on the plugin hub are safe, but it may crash your game because they're made by independent developers.
So, Ferraric really carried that section, thank you. But when it comes to what triggers a false ban, of these theories, I think we can cross off most of them, but with the remaining ones...
I would personally say reports would factor into it. Just not heavily. I would say reports probably more important than like sleeper accounts. And racism I don't think matters at all. I don't think it matters what country you're from. It would purely just be a metric based on like, you know, 80% of the player base is American, and 80% of the people that get banned are in America as well. It's just like, I don't think it has anything to do with where you're from. Accounts age, I would say, matters. Player behavior would matter. GP transfers, IPs, VPNs. I don't know about VPNs. That's a bit questionable, from what I understand of VPNs at least. Yeah, a 12 option on here could be that people are just straight up full of shit. But again, it depends on what you're doing on stream as well, right? If I get banned on stream right now on like Squid Liquor, if I'm just woodcutting, and then I get banned right now, and I'm like, oh, I didn't do anything wrong. You guys were there. I was just woodcutting. You don't know what the fuck I was doing 12 hours before this. You don't know what I was doing 2 weeks ago. I wasn't botting, just to be clear, guys, but just because you get banned, it doesn't mean you're doing something wrong in that exact moment of the ban. You can be banned for something that you did 2 weeks ago, 2 days ago, and in Odobox's case, and I guess many others, 2 years ago. So you may have done something in the past. You may have used a dodgy account, a dodgy client or plugin, not plugin, so yeah, client or like an auto clicker, and then you get banned 6 months later, and you're like, I don't know why I got banned. My thought experiment, there are way more insiders in JX who run gold selling than we think. Competition gets mogged. No, I don't think there are, but how you doing, Kabani, man? Good to see you. Thank you for the $10. Racism is real. If you have 40k Vorkaf KC and I report you, then you're either a bot or a venue who will trade anyway. That's not racism for being banned. VPNs are probably true for people who use free VPNs, not the premium ones, just because more shady people also use the same free VPNs. I don't know. At the end of the day, if you have a VPN, there's only two reasons on the internet you use a VPN, right? The first reason being you have to work from home and you need a VPN for work. The second reason is you do dodgy shit online. That's really the only two reasons you'll ever have a VPN. Having one otherwise is completely pointless. They don't do jack shit for you. If you don't have a static IP, then you should be fucking fine anyway. Just reset your router if you're concerned someone knows your IP. Porn, you don't need a VPN for porn, you donkey. Not unless you're living in, I guess, in some sort of Mormon state, you should be fine. Do Venezuelans still play osrs? Yes, they do.
I think what it really is basically this automated machine learning algorithm that looks at these parameters and probably a few other parameters that I wasn't able to determine, and then based on weighting each thing that you do, it will determine if you're a bot or not. And once it reaches this like 99.9% confidence that you're a bot, it'll ban you. It goes wrong when RuneScape players are very dedicated and look like a bot. I think the major one is player behavior.
That's probably a good point, I think, and that's what I was saying earlier, that it's likely a matter, like, it's a number of different things that will trigger a ban. If you're being, I would say if you get reported and then it also looks like, well, the player behavior looks like bot shit, the account age looks like bot shit, there's been, that might actually be enough if the player behavior is too much like bot shit. That's a ban, I would say that a report will probably trigger the system to look at you closely. I don't think the system automatically that goes around checking. I would say there's little triggers that will ping the system, but it's likely that if someone actually physically reports you, then the system will check your account, and if it looks like you do have bot-like behaviors, then it will likely trigger a ban. I would say so. My auto-clicker did accidentally activate twice back in April and spam-clicked the ground for 3 seconds or so, and I turned it off, deleted it, was never banned, so I think there is leniency. Well, you probably haven't been reported and checked, and it probably wasn't big enough to be a problem, right? Because you're allowed to have an auto-clicker on your computer, you just can't use it on RuneScape. So I doubt for 3 seconds would matter. I only have one because it came with the antivirus I got and with the new laptop, and if it weren't free, I would pay for a VPN, but I'm also only play RS and watching YouTube fair. Also shows only available in other countries that aren't elsewhere on streaming platforms. VPNs are extremely useful for non-shady behavior. Okay, look, let me reiterate. I torrent a lot of shit if I want to watch a movie. So, legally, for legal reasons. I don't use a VPN to watch shit from other countries because I can just find it online at the end of the day. I don't think you need a VPN if you want to stream from other places. There is a very easy way, very many easy ways to find the videos and the shows you want to watch. That's why I don't invest in VPNs. I turn the VPN off when I'm not watching stuff. That's fair. Do you use a private tracker? I don't use anything, mate.
Actually is just this machine learning algorithm that watches how people play and
do
how
it
bots
raw.
play. And then when those are too similar, you get banned. If you want me to summarize it, that's why I think all the high-level players get banned, all the multi-loggers get banned. It's these people that historically behave in a more robotic, efficient manner. I think that's basically how the system works. But that's just a theory. An overly complicated false ban in RuneScape theory.
Yep.
But to finalize this theory, I think it's now time to go to part 2 of this video. How the fuck does this system work and what is going wrong? Now,
Fucking hell, okay. We've got 24 minutes into the video. One thing people don't consider with bots is that they don't rearrange inventory in between kills / PVMing like a human would to make clicks easier. Yeah, that's exactly right. Bots wouldn't, unless there was programmed to, for sure. False perm mute, there's no such thing as a false perm mute, mate. You talk, you're banned. Is it really high-level players getting banned? There are high-level players getting banned, yes. High level, not meaning like high skill, they just mean like total level high. I think, yeah. There's people with 200 mil XP in some skills getting banned. I think it's funny people think people don't lie about botting. Time and time again, people whine and complain about being false banned. But bot will trade in Discord. I never trust these losers. Look, I think there are cases where people are false banned. I think if your appeal is being denied through human review, it's likely you were doing something wrong.
introduce this section,
Highly
we
likely.
have the wonderful Matt K again, who's going to take us through the history of how the ban system was developed.
So I worked with a ban system for years. It may well have changed, Kay. This is all predicated on the fact I haven't been there for 5 years. I worked with it from 2005 and saw multiple iterations of it and how things changed over the time. It started off very much a 4-strike system. So you got 4 black marks and then you got banned. At the very beginning, this was again 2005-ish. If you were to, I mean, this is awful, okay? Back on it. But if you were to swear in game at all, you get a black mark, which meant you swore 4 times. They would add up to 4 black marks, you get banned. That would be nuts to do these days, but 20 years ago, online gaming
I'd be
was very
banned
different.
instantly.
And then over time, we sort of realised this wasn't the right way to approach players. We needed to keep players in game. But when the game was growing back, before 2007, and everything you did just brought in more players, you're like, oh, we could ban who we liked. So then when it hit sort of late 2008, and the peak had been hit, and players were dropping off, and suddenly it's like, oh, we've got to be a bit more careful who you do ban. We've got to be a bit more fair about it. They started looking at all the different procedures and things, and procedures got incredibly heavy. I mean, you had a basic rule book that you had to learn in order to give offences to people, and it got so complicated. There were like 13, 14 different offences, 3 grades for each offence, and you needed evidence at each grade to give a punishment for it. Did it work? No, it didn't work.
No, of course not. That's fucked.
To be fair. Then it got to a stage of the game was aimed at kids, so it got super strict on what you could and couldn't say, because you've always got to think of the children, and that was just annoying. And then after that, it was like, actually, the kids aren't playing the game. As much as we want them to, they aren't playing the game. This is people who've played RuneScape for 20 years. They're all 20 years older than when they started when they were 8. So they're now sort of mid-20s, mid-30s. Let's treat them as adults. And that sort of kicked off around 2013 or so, about when Oldschool came out, and it was like, yeah, let's just treat them as adults and not actually ban people for swearing. From your basic person who's just trying to play the game, I think it's a hell of a lot better now. You can do what you want. You can say what you want. If somebody upsets you, then
that's a lie. You cannot say the word retarded, which is dumb, because when you're trying to tell someone about you retarding the timing on your motor when you're working on your car, you'll be automatically muted. Doesn't matter. It's a fucking lie. You cannot say what you want. It doesn't make sense that you say a word like retard and it's automatically asterisked out. No matter what, the profanity filter will always cut it out. And then you also get banned, even though it's been asterisked out. Okay? It is bullshit. Okay? It is absolute bullshit. You cannot say what you want. And I'm sick of it. I'm sick of playing with retards and you can't call them retarded. That's why I like YouTube. It's the only platform that I know of, at least, that I can call people retarded and not cop any sort of flack for it. It's great.
You can deal with that. You can block them. You can not talk to them. If you really want to get angry, then you get angry. But at the end of the day, you're a grown up, and if you can't cope with that, then you shouldn't really be on the internet, because that's what you're going to get.
So then I asked Matt about the modern day system, and obviously he can't tell me the parameters.
What I can tell you is, if somebody is botting, it is blatantly obvious they're botting. To give you an idea, everything that you do in game is tracked. Absolutely everything. Anything you could even possibly think of that happens in game is tracked, and Jagex have access to all that data. They capture,
This includes the gold, for those who were trying to say that BTC is never ever traded. The gold is tracked.
Before I left, they were capturing about 3 terabytes of data a day just on what
That's
people
so
were doing.
fucking much,
So
man.
absolutely everything. So if they want to prove someone's been botting, they can quite easily do that. But they're not going to show you the proof because obviously they don't want people to know how they can catch people. Every piece of data, everything, absolutely everything you could possibly imagine is tracked, and they can use any of that data to check, see if someone's doing it by hand or not by hand. I mean, the ultimate thing you can do is you could pick up a player. And I mean, there is no, I mean, I assume there's no system because it's just so data heavy to create one. Why would you create this? But you could take all the data from a player and rerun what that account did in a client in front of you and just watch exactly what they were doing.
That would be incredible. Like a
That's
whole
awesome.
movie.
That'd be really cool.
Someone's past
Exactly,
life.
yeah. Exactly. And you could, I mean, that's the data they've got to do that, and they could do that with every single account if they wanted to. If they had this back, going back to the very first day that Runescape, which I don't think they got it going back that far, but you know, imagine it going back to the beginning of Oldschool. Okay, you could run how Oldschool changed over the last 10 years. I don't think anybody would ever build a thing to do that, but they've got the data to do it if they wanted.
That's really
now,
cool.
information about how the system works is rare to find, but luckily I have a famous UFOologist.
Yeah, what do you need to know? I got a lot.
This kind of feels like a drug deal.
Here we go, boys. Andy's in.
People who are looking at these reports, like, they have like a time limit at like maybe a minute that they can like look at each report because they have to get through a bunch of them a day. And I've seen more of the system they have in place for like reviewing like offensive names or like offensive chat. The person I talked to told me that they only had like 30 seconds to press like Y or N to say like this is an offensive name. I mean, if you fumble your hand just on the keyboard and you press the wrong button or the wrong number even like 1 out of 100 times and someone gets reported 100 times, then you're bound to kind of, you know, fall into that false ban unless you have some kind of flag on your account where it's happened to you a lot or you're kind of like a really publicly known person. It's all outsourced basically to like Polish people for $5 an hour. There's a company called Testronic, Testronic, and they even have public posts where like they get awards with Jagex working under them for like best role-playing game, best. They do like customer support outsourcing. I think the one they use is based in like Warsaw, Poland because they charge really cheap because they don't have to pay, you know, people in that area as much. A lot of the reviews for bans and like offenses and all that first goes through someone like them, I think, and that's the people who are, you know, have their strict time limit of pressing yes or no, replying to appeals as well. I think they handle that, and account recovery, I think they handle that as well. And then, you know, if someone's made like a mistake or something, then you have like IESA on the tweet saying, you know, like, well, let me check on this or something. Then they'll go back and have someone who's like actually staffed, I think there in like the UK, check on the ban or the offense like manually.
I don't think it's outsourced right now. They've outsourced it in the past and that went disastrously wrong. So I can't imagine they're outsourcing it. I think what it is, rather than outsourcing, I think it's probably automated. They may even be using AI now to do things. That's the way I would approach it. Because like I said, there's a huge amount of data coming in from every single account. You can automate this so you're accurate to what, 5 nines, so 99.99999%. And if you can automate it, there's a huge amount of cost savings. You don't have to pay people to do it. But then you're always going to have some part that's wrong. But then you could argue that if you have people doing it, looking at it, they're going to make more mistakes than a metric system or an AI system. And if I were Jagex, I'd be looking at using AI to train it. And I mean, even
do you make it so that appeals are automatically looked at? Do you need human intervention? I would say you probably do, right? At the end of the day, let me give you a scenario that's not related to RuneScape. In Australia, I know they're worldwide, but in Australia, imagine you're driving down the road, okay? And you're doing 10 kilometers over the speed limit, okay? 10 kilometers over, or 10 miles, all right? There's a speed camera. That's your automated system. The speed camera flashes you. Bam, you get a speeding ticket. Now say you're doing 10 kilometers over the limit on the road, and the police officer drives past you instead and doesn't pull you over. Is it better to have the speed camera automated system detecting you for doing something, let's be honest, quite fucking harmless? You don't really deserve, I mean, yeah, okay, you're breaking the law. You're just going with the flow of traffic. I don't think you really deserve a ticket for doing only 10 Ks over the limit. It's not very far over the limit. 30, 40 Ks, sure. That's pretty extreme. But like, where do you need to have human intervention to have that sort of lenience? Like, even if a cop pulls you over and goes, oh, it's only 10 Ks an hour, it's not worth my time writing a ticket, it's not worth it, or, you know, you seem like you're in a rush, I can understand what's going on. Do you need that human element involved when reviewing a process to have that final call for that judgment, right? Or do you just let the automated system... If you have an automated system, then there's one strict rule that everyone follows and there should be minimal mistakes, right? Do you need that human element? I don't know. Because is the automated system right? If 10 over is okay, then why not have the limit 10 over? Because of the way that, I guess, the system works. I don't fucking know. How about you don't ask stupid fucking questions, alright? Don't mean to be a pain, just lurking as I don't have much to comment. Enjoy the stream. Just curious you're going on the hardcore tonight. Yeah, I will try to. Thank you, Coda. Yeah, I will after this, for sure. Invest in AI, then invest in the team behind that with human team checking. It's like testers, automation testing is a great tool, but you always need manual testers. I would say you always want to have human element, right? You want to have a human element to review the situation. You should have someone checking the machines. Jagus went out and asked free ChatGPT to write their shit, and that's probably why it's so trash. No, I don't think so. I'm in pest control right now. I have a dude who has 12k RTO and no other boss log. Like, who the fuck plays like this? Bots. Bought regular restore pots to God Wars and got my mate muted for calling me a retard and ironically reporting him in 2010. Hell yeah. Is it child abuse to name my son Awogugi Ilu? No. I know someone who put the lyrics to Fresh Prince in an appeal in 2008 for language, and they accepted it. It's on YouTube. Type in Jagex loves Will Smith. I will have a look. Who's the old lad? Someone give me a recap. This is XJ Mod.
Back when I was there, we were using machine learning to do stuff. This was back 2017, we were using machine learning methods to identify behaviors between players and what they liked doing, what they didn't like doing.
Every company exists to make money with as little resources as possible without spending as much money as they need to.
And I mean, like, you saw, like, was it 2 years ago, they had, like, their largest year in profits, but they, like, spent the least amount as well.
What do we got here? Year ended 2001. Okay, who cares? 2021, 2020, we got, this is total revenue, 124 million pounds. It's a lot of money. Subscription revenues, 88 million pounds was their subscription revenue in 2021. Microtransactions, only 34 million. That would be RuneScape 3 only. RuneScape 3, would that count bonds as well? Probably, right? Surely. Operating profit, I don't know how you make an operating profit, but sure. Cash in the bank. And then subscriptions are I don't know what that means. Oh, subscriptions 1.1 million. I don't know. And dividends, that's for the shareholders. Fuck, I need to get in some Jagex shares. I would assume yes to bonds. Okay, so this in RuneScape 3 microtransactions would make $34 million of their revenue. And it's going up every year. Jagex recently false banned me for real trade when I was gold swapping. The automated system saw me get the the gold, sorry, and assumed I was buying gold. I guess it's pretty stupid. Did you appeal? Because you should get unbanned if it wasn't you who was the gold seller. The guy gold swapping is a gold seller. That's what happened. So appeal and you should get your account back. Cooking the books like the Italian mafia, exactly. Man, they're making a lot of money. Got automatically denied. You got automatically denied. Bad luck. That's unfortunate. Well, hopefully this video gives us some clarity on automatic appeal denies. Jagex sold to MacArthur for 530 million. It's worth like $1 billion now, right? Now that's with Carlyle. I think it's nearly $1 billion company. That's insane, though. Not too bad.
Well, on the game and their employees and everything else. The software they use is apparently like the same thing they've been using for like 18 years. So
I feel like the metrics they use that cause these false bans are maybe outdated.
Have you seen our
Yeah,
game?
I guess.
Why do you expect the fucking support system is the only thing fresh? The game looks like it was made when it was made.
I think they're falling behind with like tech like VPN usage, macro usage, all that kind of stuff, you have to have something more to rely on than gameplay.
It's very like simplistic. It's like they look at a heat map of where your mouse moves and like how many times you've clicked in a spot. It's just like a black screen with a heat map of like colors, basically.
Wait, so it's not even like pixel perfect.
I think they can like break it down into like a pixel perfect kind of way, but once again that takes time, and they have like a minute or two to review your van.
Like, it's hard for us to speak on it. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Like, it's easy to just dogpile and be like, they're doing a shit job, but I'd imagine they're doing their very best behind the scenes.
It probably feels terrible because they got their head was fired for simping. And
I don't think anyone should be targeting any specific J mods. You know what I mean? I think it should be on the company to provide more resources so that they can do their job properly.
When you look at the sheer scale of what's happening in the game, you've got 1.2 million people logging in every month, and it's all a case of, you know, how do you make it as difficult as you can for people to create bots and put bots into game and use ways to capture bots as quickly as possible while minimizing the impact on the players. But the impact from Jagex will never be nothing.
I mean, the other thing is just like the more advanced their detection system gets, the more advanced the bots get.
The system is flawed if its sensitivity is too high, right? And the specificity is too low.
Jagex is like super blurry when it comes to rules.
You make a Reddit post, say, and you ask a question about certain plugins, VPN usage, macro usage, all this kind of stuff. Every player will give you a different answer. That's not a good thing. They have to have more transparency in their rules, and they have to have an appeal system.
I never got a ban reason. Nothing ever showed up. There's never been anything to appeal. And once I stated that, you know, they just stopped responding. So
next question.
Go for it.
Is your profile picture a penis with a face on it?
Dude, I have no idea. Like, I could have been targeted.
I don't know what that
Maybe
is.
some J mod was like just got offended by.
Well, it was probably the penis picture, but
If I did something wrong, why don't you tell me what I did? I think it's just borderline incompetence. You know, this isn't how you run a company. If you're providing a product to a customer, you should have good customer service.
this brings us around into a big topic of conversation, which is appeals. And just how lacking the system is. Is it automated? Is it even doing anything? Does a human ever read what you say?
It's two sides, right? So on one side, you get your appeal where, from a player point of view, you feel as if you could say something about the ban. What the appeal does from Jagex's point of view is they check, or they used to check, 3 things, I think. So did the person commit the offence? Was the person in charge of the account when the offence was committed? And then was the punishment correctly applied? And that's what they check. What you write in the offence appeal means nothing.
I wrote a really
That's
heartfelt
interesting.
appeal. My appeal was denied, which was very surprising because I thought as soon as it was read by a real person and they actually investigated my account, they would see there was no way I
That's
was
interesting.
They only work off evidence, not what people say, and people talk. So, I mean, you can imagine.
Okay, that's actually fair though. The fact that I can fully understand Jagex not wanting to give a shit about what you say because people do lie, but that's really interesting to know. I was not expecting that. RuneScape social credit score, exactly. It's going up. Yeah, shit. I don't know if they work straight on the facts that their end tells them, then what's the point in having the appeal system? Well, I guess how do you appeal without having your opinion? It should be considered, but I get that for sure. Penis worm is an MSN ad. Holy fuck, I feel old now. Wait, it was an MSN ad?
Imagine how much bollocks is spoken in those offence appeals.
Yeah.
It's the 3 pieces of evidence they're looking for.
Yeah, it's like the same system that is used to ban accounts is also the appeal.
Yeah, so pressing the appeal button doesn't do anything.
And it's like, yes, according to our rules, proof we look for the offence being committed, and we've got that. We've looked through our systems to see if they were hijacked, and they weren't hijacked, and then we've looked at what offence, what the punishment was, and was that correct? Yes.
Allow for multiple appeals, maybe infinite appeals.
What's the point in doing a second one? Because you're going to get the same answer out.
I would also ensure that these appeals, when they get re-appealed, somebody else at anti-cheat takes a look, not the
I would
same
say
person.
maybe an appeal cooldown, even at least. You shouldn't be able to just spam appeal because that'd be fucking annoying. And like people who are legitimately cheating will just spam appeal, right? So I think that there should be some sort of appeal cooldown. Again, I don't know if this is related directly to just perm bans or temp bans. Does that not circle back to our original thought, gentlemen and Beans? Most people are just full of shit and 95% of the bans are full of naughty stuff. I think what we're gathering here so far is that if you are being, in your opinion, false banned, you are likely performing some sort of bot behavior. If you're banned for real-world trading and you never real-world traded any gold or items, you've likely traded with someone who has in the past. If your appeal is being denied, then it is highly likely that you have done something wrong. But it also, the way the appeal system works, it doesn't matter what you say, right? So it then comes down to who the fuck is checking the appeals. Are they just going through clicking yep at work? Like, let's be honest, we all cut corners at work. We all cut corners at our jobs. I remember working at certain jobs and just fucking being a box ticker because I couldn't be fucked doing certain checks. So should you be able to reappeal? Yes. You should be able to reappeal. There probably should be a cooldown so it's not spammed. And there should be a limit. But I think being able to appeal more than once is totally fine. The evidence that got you banned is irrefutable on Jagex's end. Even if you didn't actually real trade, you're screwed. Like, imagine you split a Timican with your mates in the raid and they think it's real trade. Well, then they should be able to, they'll be able to tell if it's real trade because they'll see where the gold came from. They'll see what you do with the gold, right? So that shouldn't happen. If it does happen, it's a fault on the system end, and getting your account appealed is what would fix it. Now, if your appeal isn't approved, then it is human error, which then brings you back to, should we have human interaction, or should it be completely automated to the point that humans can't touch it, and we remove the chance of a human making a mistake. If you're going to have human interaction and humans looking at the appeals, then you should be able to appeal more than once. Because you have to allow for a human error. Holo, thank you for becoming a member. I appreciate that. Some dude who buys GP and gets a good pull and splits a fang will flag the others. Yes.
That's the first time.
And it seems like if a real person at Jagex looks at a false ban, they're able to like determine that it was a false ban.
And if you are wondering, yes, the system is completely automated.
Yeah, completely automated. I've been through it when my account got banned. It's horribly automated. The FAQs suck. The Twitter response bot sucks. It just should be so much better at this point. And they've kind of been promising that it'll get better for years, and it never has.
Because automation is king. There's so many contacts for Jagex that they could employ another 100 people and still not be able to do it manually.
Well, do you know how many appeals are a day?
There used to be, and this was years ago, but there was something like 100,000 contacts a day made to Jagex, and that's from every channel. So that's snapshots coming in, appeals being made, emails, and everything else. But this was 15 years ago, and I can't imagine it's gone much down from that.
I just know it would feel a heck of a lot better if you could actually talk to somebody at Jagex. I think World of Warcraft has that still. Like, if something happens to your account or it gets hacked, like, you can at the very least reach a real person.
It'd be nice if there was a live chat center. Again, it comes down to them wanting to spend the resources. But like, you know how you go to I don't know, like if I go to Telstra, it's like a mobile broadband website, a company in Australia, you can live chat with an employee that works in the office. Granted, they've got like probably factories in somewhere in India where they're actually talking from, but it'd be nice to be able to have a live chat with someone who can then look into your account manually and be like, yeah, it's a real ban or it's not. Like, to have that discussion one-on-one. If they can tell if you're botting, if they know, yeah, you're 100% botted or not, they should be able to do that, right? As far as the human AI thing, when it comes to errors go, I've been working with an AI development company for a few weeks now, and trust me, they make stupid mistakes. AI does. I would imagine it would do, yeah, but that it'll also be easy to correct, right? We're assuming some random person who probably doesn't give a shit about their job to really investigate appeals. Probably, yes. I'd never unban anyone if it was my job. See, that's the other problem. So then do you have human interaction? Because there's people like you. And there are a lot of people out there that would do that. So then what do? You can't blame the company. You can't blame the JMods who are developing the game. You can only blame the cunt that no one knows who's doing it or why they're doing it. So if there's people like you out there who's going, I'm gonna deny all appeals because fuck it. What are they gonna do about it? Okay, so you deny all appeals. So let's get rid of the human interaction and make it automated. And now the automated system might not be working properly. It should do, but if the automated system makes a mistake, there's no human interaction to rectify it. remember being on hold with Blizzard and then playing WoW music down the landline. I can't imagine sitting there listening to C-Shanty. No, you wouldn't be on the phone. You would do it like on a website, like go to the RuneScape homepage and have a live chat section there. That'd be great. That'd be really handy.
Those people who say just hire more people, that doesn't work just because of the sheer quantity. You would need thousands.
Exactly. And, you know, if they increase their staffing by, you know, 5x to do this, your price of playing the game's going to go up. They ain't going to, you know, shoulder the cost of this and go, oh, don't worry, the shareholders don't mind. Of course they do.
This game requires so much time and dedication, and when you lose that and you don't even have a real person to speak to, I know that feels really bad. At the same time, I also know from all the videos I've done on people that abuse RuneScape to make a profit that would abuse any system like that put in place to try to get their accounts unbanned that have been legitimately banned.
I'm sure there's a lot of also some bad actors that are taking advantage.
They're kind of stuck because there's lots of honest people who get caught, but then there's also
There
going
are
to be
far more bad actors than there are honest people doing this. I'm willing to bank that if you were to say, let's say for every 100 ban appeals or just bans in general, I would say it's likely that for every 100, let's say 99, 98 of them are deserved, and of the 100 people that deserve it, the majority of them would try to lie and get their account unbanned. Absolutely, that like it is like it's a metric again, right? Because more people are banned for doing the wrong thing than they are for doing the right thing, so more people are going to try to lie about it too. But it is easily an abused system which is the problem as well, right? The system is abused, so everyone is guilty at that point. No one can, you can't give people the opportunity to appeal past a certain point because people will take advantage of that, cheat, and try to squeeze their way out of a ban. And you can't allow that because that is far worse than just banning someone that didn't deserve it at the end of the day, because you'll catch more people cheating than you will people that aren't. JMod popped up and it felt like my account was starting to be suspected of botting. A JMod will never come to you in person to like ban you. A few years back they did a mass unban. I know. Not for giving reasons why. I've heard in other platforms when they ban someone, they don't give a lot of specifics to prevent people skirting the line as close as possible. Not saying it's legitimate, but I'd imagine that'd be the case. Yeah.
be like tons and tons of people who make money doing all these bots, so they've got an incentive to say, oh, I've been full spam.
I genuinely believe that if you are a person who is knowingly botting, you're more likely to be unbanned than if you're a legitimate player who gets falsely banned.
There's one thing that I think is still the same. I don't think it's changed. It's something that really I thought was wrong when I was there, and I tried to change it and never could. And that was the procedure for banning somebody who has been botting. The procedure there is, did this person bot? Yes, they did. We ban them. What they didn't do is check whether the account was hijacked at the time. They only do that when the appeal comes in.
99% of the times, you literally just click to appeal. You say my account got hacked, and most of the times, Jagex just goes like, "Oh yeah, for sure."
I'll always bot from a VPN, and if I get banned, I'll say that I was hacked. People who go into botting, they know what steps they can take to get unbanned preemptively because, you know, they've got entire Discord set up around it.
There's all sorts of ways you
fucked.
can look at it. You can look at IP changes, on which, you know, will obviously beg the question of, oh, why don't I just use a different IP to bot on? But there's other stuff that I'm not going to tell you about because Jagex won't want you to know. If it's obviously the same player, it's obvious because, you know, same IP, same things happen. If it's not them and it's a different IP, there are other things they could check to see if it's the same person doing it, just using a proxy. They can see what proxies are being used as well. So, you know, for example,
that's what you guys said earlier. Proxies to be a bigger problem
over and over again. So if you're using a, you know, suddenly a NordVPN one that's been bought for 5 minutes to run your bot, just so you can pretend it wasn't me that was botting, then they'll pick that up and go, yeah, it was.
Whenever there's an avenue in any video game for somebody to profit in real life, that's when all these like negative things start to happen. I think the only way that any game has really effectively dealt with that is just by, like, I hate to say it, locking everything down and taking away free trade. Like, there's no good solution. Taking away free trade doesn't work.
We kind of learned that one the hard way.
Yeah, it was a damn disaster.
Now, this is an incredibly complicated issue, and one answer that I share with many people is to implement an anti-cheat, but that's also not as simple as it sounds.
Yeah, mobile would not work. See, one of the biggest things, one of the reasons the game is a success is because it's easy to get into. If you want to play World of Warcraft, you download it with, 26, 28 gigabytes, whatever it is. RuneScape, you download it in a minute and a half and then you play. If you put anti-cheat in there, suddenly you've got something that pops up in your screen saying, hey, we're going to put some anti-cheat software on your computer. And if you're like me, I'm like, I ain't fucking playing your game then. Because I don't want their crap watching what my computer's doing. I mean, I do all sorts of weird stuff on it.
Heard it here first. Exclusive scoop.
So I was under the impression that this is from an XJ mod, that they want to implement an anti-cheat system, but they also can't because they're still using Java. When we are full-time C++, when the new client is the sole client and we move RuneLite over to C++, or we ditch it and we just have the upgraded RuneLite, they then want to they want to move to the same anti-cheat system that Valorant uses. I think it was Valorant. He said it was about 6 months ago. He told me about it, and that was a game plan many years ago, part of like their 2020 vision, the seven step plan or whatever it is for 7 years. So having an anti-cheat would work greatly. But I believe it's also an engine problem on their end where they can't have the anti-cheat working. What did he get timed out for? What did he say? Remove free trade? Yeah, he's dickhead. Shit opinions. Sounds good. Haven't played for 5 months or so when my account was banned, not appealable. That is rough. I wonder why it's not appealable even just from the get-go. I'll be fucking depressed if they make us use Vanguard. I don't know what it is. I think it was the same one that Valorant uses. I think it was the example he gave.
Admittedly, I don't have the answers. I don't know. You just watched 20 minutes of me showing you all pros, all cons, and I don't know. But what I do know is the failings of this system, and especially this appeal system, have resulted in most players running to social media as the only outlet to get in contact with someone who can help them. Pros and cons aside, that is objectively not a good thing.
I mean, it's ridiculous that we have to go to Reddit to fix a ban on a game that's been around for 20 years and they still don't have the ability for us to just go through the website and deal with it.
It's just interesting, the sheer amount.
Well, they do have a process through the website to deal with it. It appears to not work for a lot of people. Again, in my case, I've never had a problem myself, even dealing with customer support for it was for refunds and stuff, but I had no problems getting a hold of JMods and getting the help that I need when I've had bans and stuff. It's all been rectified. I did try appealing. They told me to fuck off essentially, but which is fair because I was cheating. I've never personally had that happen to me, so it's hard to envision it, I played semi-pro Val. It's basically malware. You don't want it. Name something that isn't fucking malware these days. Use my account for gold farming. My fault for not getting Jagex account, I suppose. Jagex accounts are good. You should be getting on a Jagex account as soon as you can. Protect your account. It's okay that I watch the stream while I work. Yeah, of course. Do what you want to do, man. I even tweeted all the mods on Twitter. Tweeting all the mods on Twitter ain't going to do shit, man. The amount of times people tweet Mod Ash, and it's just like, Mod Ash, every time, for every person, I can't help you with this. Go for the support system. I can't do anything. And yet people still fucking tag him every day. Mod Ash, help me with this. It's just copy-pasting the same thing to you guys. People still just fucking harass them. Accidentally bought Bond on my ult and they fixed it very quickly. Yeah, they can do that for you. It's really good.
Many other Reddit posts from people saying they were false banned, and so many mean comments about how they must be lying.
For some reason in this community, when you say you get banned and say you didn't buy, everyone jumps on you.
One thing
What do you
I
mean
will
for
say.
some reason? I think it's totally fair. I think it should be expected. If you're going to claim that you were false banned, you should expect people to doubt you. Expect people to think that you're lying, because fuck, people do a lot all the time. It is a very common thing. It is more common than not, and I think you need to be prepared for that, because that's the world you're entering. If you think you've been false banned, expect people to not fucking believe you. You are guilty until proven innocent by the public. You always are on the internet. So for some reason, burden of proof is on you to prove you're not botting, not the other way around. Too many people have abused botting for real trade. Absolutely, people will take advantage of this game, and we've seen it time and time again. Look how big bot farms are. Pretty funny that Jagex's audience is so autistic that even with all these detection methods, it's still this hard to tell who's real or not. Yeah. I even had a photo of myself playing my hand, and still. You having a photo of yourself playing doesn't mean shit, dude. Because if you get banned for something you did 6 months ago, you showing a picture of your hand and your cock today isn't like, okay, who cares? The problem is you don't know what specifically you did to get you banned, not what moment of the game got you banned. That would be good. If they can show that without showing the detection methods, if they go, here's a 10-second time frame or a 60-second window of what you were doing that got you banned, if they can do that, it shows only what you would have seen on your end of the client, not their detection methods. They would just go, this is you breaking the rules, here's a 60-second window. That would be good. That would be far more beneficial. A 30-second window, whatever, that doesn't take up too much data and time for Jagex. If they could just have the system snapshot it, send it, a kill cam, exactly. If they could show you a fucking kill cam, that would give people a lot more clarity and confidence. It might still flag people falsely, okay. You might still feel like you were false banned, but it gives you some insight and it gives you some content and like an instant replay. It would be great. But you have to also remember that just because you get banned, it doesn't necessarily mean you did something wrong in that exact moment. And if someone was streaming and they get banned on stream, that doesn't mean they weren't breaking the fucking rules off stream. It doesn't mean they're not doing shit that you can't see. Gives real botters info on where their script is getting detected. That does, yes. That's the problem Jagex is facing. But is that a problem for... If Jagex is able to come up with a way where they can have multiple detection methods, or if they can do it in a way that doesn't it doesn't expose their methods, that would be the best outcome in my opinion. Give the kill cam 6 months and the botter will pull their ban points and work around it. Absolutely, but botters work around bans regardless, don't they? Botters always update to defeat the ban process, so I don't know, man. I don't know. That's why I think it should only be when it's on your screen. And if it's just a full minute of you botting, and it's like, what the fuck? Also, a case of the bot ban in wave bans, like the Oda case. So the kill cam would have been years long or all that time, surely. No, it would have just been his. They won't say it's just this one. So I don't mean if you were banned for something you did 2 years ago, they're going to give you 2 years of footage. But they would hold on to that. They would, like Mod Matt K said that they can see the history of your account that's been tracked from like day one, right? Like they say they can see what you've been doing for the past 6, 12, 18 months. Every single thing you do is tracked. So why can't they, pull that together for a 10-second window? This exact moment got you banned. Terabytes of data a day, yeah. It's just whether they can do it without it exposing methods they don't want to have exposed, How do they keep all that? Probably in a cloud, I'd imagine. I'm not sure.
Is in the recent few days, I've been seeing quite a few people on Twitter saying that they've been false banned, and look, it's hard to believe all of them.
So anyone who goes on Reddit and says, hey, I got a false ban, can someone help me? Everyone will destroy you. I've made so many posts on Reddit, every time I get trashed. Jagex hides a lot behind the public perception. You know what Jagex smackdowns are?
This leads me into what happened with the JMod on Reddit. This player was using an unauthorized client, by the way. In reference to myself, I definitely was not using an authorized client, and I had already been proven that the ban was false. So please explain.
And if players are reinforced...
Human error. Humans make mistakes. That's exactly brings us back to our point. Do we want human review? Because humans make mistakes. Now, later on, it was she was giving her access to her account back, right? If the automated system never detected that and never picked it up, and there was never a human interaction, would she still be banned today? That's the thing, right? Yes, the human got it wrong. People do make mistakes. They shouldn't. That's the point of being a professional, and that's where that's another can of worms. But where do you draw the line at the end of the day?
And this idea that Jagex is always right. If you get banned, you're wrong. I think that's avoiding a huge conversation that needs to be had every time someone reinforces that idea.
It's almost going back to the attitude between the different teams. So you look at either on the community team or on the front line all day, every day. They hear this all the time, and they've got to speak the Jagex speak. They can't go, oh my god, our anti-cheating team is awful. And they make mistakes all the time, and it's wrong, and they can't prove anything, and they just use opinion. They can't say that. But when I sort of look at what I see from the outside looking in, and I look at sort of the anti-cheat team as like, are they too focused on banning people? So at one point, their aim of that team was to protect the game from bots, and right now, I wonder if it's just a case of, no, this is almost like a power thing for people within that team in order to be able to actually control what's going on, to be able to say, we are the people who have the information on whether someone's botting or not, and we're the only people who can really understand it. Therefore, if we say that we're wrong, and we make mistakes, does that undermine our credibility in the company? And is there a political thing that's going on inside the company around that? Wouldn't surprise me. I've seen it happen in the past.
So if social media doesn't work, what are your other options?
Be really good friends with the JMod. Like, that's actually the only thing you could do, I would say.
I was streaming the Dagonoth Kings with the group Ironman boys, and all of a sudden my account just gets logged off. I had a permanent ban, bot busting major. Yeah, I got unbanned straight away just because there was a JMod watching the live stream at the time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I would say it's special privilege. It's more just like, it's a little bit easier for me to like get a hold of someone that could help me.
Yeah,
People hate this. People fucking hate that creators have, content creators have like a, yeah, privilege is probably the best word. That they have privilege over normal players to be able to get their appeals. Like if I got false banned, I could probably get unbanned a lot faster than you guys in the chat. Even though a lot of the JMods don't like me, I have a community that would rally for me. I have a lot of evidence that I'm not doing anything wrong on stream. I could probably cook something up pretty quickly and get it unbanned as opposed to someone else. And people would say that's not fair. That's life at the end of the day. You know, that is just that's the perks of having a community and being a content creator at the end of the day. And I don't think it's fair to be upset at creators for having that power. That's the beauty of being in the position that content creators are in. Like Odablock had so much fucking power during that Stellar and Trident situation. He had an incredible amount of support and facts, and he played that so fucking well. And it was there were a lot of people who were like, this isn't fair because he's a creator. He has the privilege. He's getting priority, favoritism. That's the point. Creators are more valuable to Jagex than nobody's there. Absolutely right. So that's just the way that content creation works. That's the perks of the job. Last Not Fair, and you directly help and promote their game. Well, yeah, it's less about promoting, and it's more about. Well, yeah, it is kind of right, because you can do a lot of damage as a creator too. You can do a lot of damage. You got to be very careful with what you say, not just for the game, but for other creators, other people's perception. You can manipulate a lot of things online if you have a voice, especially on YouTube. Look at the Christmas crackers last week. Look at the Vorkaf, the Joga Bones. Look at the Mole Slippers. You can do, and I'm just fucking around. I've got nothing to do with Mole Slippers, by the way. They have absolutely nothing to do with me. I don't invest. And same with the Christmas crackers. I only play an Ironman. But I can make a joke and flip an item on the market like that. I can make a joke. I can make a false statement about someone and probably cause a lot of distress between them and their community. I don't do that because that's dumb as shit. I work purely off of I try to work off of facts where I can, at least. But it's very, you got to be very careful. It's the availability that content creators have that the public legit just don't. Absolutely, yep. Someone false banned would never get unbanned by Jagex's system. Well, people do get unbanned that were false bans through Jagex's system. It's definitely happened a lot more than it hasn't by appeals being quashed. It just doesn't happen consistently enough. And if it happens to you and you're speaking about it, it might look like a lot of people are having this problem. If you have 20 people being like, I got false banned and it was all denied, it starts to feel like this is a lot of people who are getting false banned and it's being denied. But in the grand scheme of things, you are less than 1% of the player base at the end of the day. If like there's a couple of people here in the chat saying that they've been banned and their appeal was denied, you are a very, very, very small minority at the end of the day. And it sucks to be you. Like, if you were doing nothing wrong and the system's fucked you, I can't fucking help you. I don't know how to help you. And it looks like it's there's something on the back end that needs fucking help. But you are part of a small minority, and I being in your position, there's not much you can do. I really don't know what to do at the end of the day. I own too many pairs on my main. Well, it has nothing to do with you. Absolutely. Max 1.3 mil off 2 Christmas crackers. Thank you. Oh, nice. That's pretty good. remember a CSGO April Fools where some item price skyrocketed because the creator said you could trade up for a knife. Hell yeah, that's awesome.
Have the connection, which I guess is the privilege.
Oh, I got lots of
Yeah, you
connections.
do.
There was nothing I could do. Made a Reddit post, made Twitter posts, and it's just complete radio silence. It's luckily I've been friends with Behemoth, but that was only because he said on the content creator Discord, can you look into this? My friend's been banned. And it's just an awkward situation because there is no way to contact anyone unless you're a content creator.
Well, you are a content creator and you didn't even have it.
yeah, that's the thing. It's not just content creator bias, it's large content creator bias.
There was one time I used to message JMods on behalf of people. If they were like, hey, I got falsely banned, can you message someone? Someone was like, hey, I got false banned. And I messaged the JMod and they were like, it was a correct ban. They were botting. And I went back to the guy and I was like, bro, I don't know what to tell you. They said you were botting. And he goes, oh, well, it was worth a try. Like, really, bro?
You can't be doing that, man. That's why I wouldn't ask it. People ask me to ask JMods on my behalf and stuff too, on their behalf, and I just never do. I'm like, no, I can't help you. Like that's one of the dumbest things to do, to be honest. I wouldn't fucking do that. Like, no, who the fuck are you? I don't know you. Unless I knew you really well and I was super confident, but if some fucking random cunt's like, can you ask? No, get fucked. Use it where you can. Yeah. If it was Nate, for example, if Nate got fucking banned on his fucking pure for botting, yeah, I would ask. But like, if fucking Grayson in the chat was like, I got banned for botting, I'd be like, nah, get fucked. Find your own appeal system. I got an appeal denied because I shit on Jagex in the appeal and how they don't care about our player base. Needless to say, my mute is not being quashed. Yeah, but why would you say that in your appeal? That does absolutely nothing. That does nothing for you. Message the mod to make sure it's permanent. Exactly. Base is fucked. What if I got banned falsely? I don't know. You can get fucked. No, I'll message the mod and say make sure it's permanent.
There are people like that out there. Yeah, exactly. I look like a fucking moron.
Yeah.
Like, I work with these guys. You know what I mean? Like,
Content creators also hate that it is this way and that we get help much easier than everyone else.
content creator privilege, I get it. So suck shit to everyone else, basically. Sorry, it's good for me. It fucking obviously sucks for everyone else, but...
I mean, I was looking for a deep discussion, but yeah, fuck everyone else.
It is a thing, bro. It does suck.
Now, I think the thing to remember that I keep forgetting when making this video is these people that are being falsely banned are real people.
I'm constantly quite nervous every time I log in that, like, if there's a little bit of lag before, you know, that kind of home screen comes up, that, oh shit, it's happened again.
It's fascinating to talk about the system and have this massive discussion.
See, that's
but
why I think it'd be good to know what is getting you banned. If you had a screenshot saying, hey, you playing on 30 accounts at once is triggering the system and that's what's getting you banned. We're going to quash it, but like, Jagex should fix things on their end, but at the same time, it's not something you can do overnight. Can you maybe not play 30 fucking accounts at once, all splashing fucking rats, because it keeps coming up and people keep reporting the accounts and it keeps on having the system ping you and take you down. Then you might, you know, change the way you fucking play, or people might adjust the way that they play the game until Jagex can do something about that. Don't bot or cheat and make content. Yep, don't bot, don't cheat, make content. You'll be fine. You ever think there's more to you in life than sit there playing this spectacle with other people's careers as if you yourself are God's gift? Find a different career, mate. Sorry, you ever think there's more to you in life than to sit there playing the spectacle of other people's careers as if you yourself are God's gift? I don't know what that's got to do with this video, but sure. I report every person I see splashing rats for macroing, so checks out. Yeah. Can we pin that comment? Yeah, that'd be good. Let's pin the Yale Talks comment. Today's biggest moron.
There are humans behind the monitor who are suffering because things are going wrong.
Like, every time I got banned, I thought, like, what if they ignore me this time? Because the only reason I've ever gotten unbanned is because a JMod looked into it for me.
Yeah.
It's never been through the appeal system, never been through Jagex support. Like, all my appeals ever have been denied.
But after that lengthy discussion where I don't think I made a single point, but that's for you, you know, critical thinking video. You listened to a lot of perspectives over the course of half an hour. Now you know what to do, you know? You've formed your own opinion. You don't need me to rub it in. The final step of this video, the third question that I asked at the start, what can you do to avoid getting falsely banned?
Stop playing the game.
And the answer to that is I still don't really have any idea. You just watch the video, man. Take some of that in, man. Why are you relying on me so much? You're an adult.
Yeah.
After 2
Shut
years.
up! I think when you look at all, at least when I've looked at all the appeals, and Hanani said the same thing to me the other day. Looking at everyone's stories, oh, I got banned, here's all my evidence, this is what I did, this is what I've done. It's very, very hard to find a similarity between anyone's problems, anyone's bans. Everyone from all different ages, races, sizes, whatever, their accounts are different parts of the game, they're doing different content. There's no real big link that I can see between them. I think if you are unsure or if you are copying false bans for macroing, I would at least re-download RuneLite through the website, absolutely. Especially if you had it downloaded before it was put on the website. I would probably try to change the behavior of the way you play. If you feel like there is something you're doing that is kind of triggering a bot-like behavior, don't play so many accounts at once. I don't know. It depends what you're doing. I got a real trade ban on my old that hadn't done anything but farm runs for 4 months. An Ironman as well. There's literally just no rhyme or reason to it. It's very strange, right? Because there's been we've seen Ironman get real trade bans before, and it's like, what the fuck? How? Like, have you been dropping shit to people? I don't know. I think if you haven't copped a false ban or a ban of any kind that you didn't deserve, you're doing something right, and you should keep playing the game the way you're playing. I think if you keep running into bans that you can't explain, I think it's so hard, man. It's hard to know what Jagex is detecting. Like the system appears to be completely automated. Then hopefully, what are we going to do as viewers and players, right? Jagex needs to make it less 1KC Scariest Spine. GZ, that's awesome. I think people, I think human interaction into bans is a must. At the end of the day, I think having a JMod look at ban appeals is what's needed. It then comes down to trust as to whether they do it properly or not. You don't seem to understand how bot detection works. osrs doesn't actually have bot detection in the client. It's all server side. This means the detection is a heuristic. If a player matches that heuristic, I think I'm saying that right, then they are banned. The problem is bots mimic humans, so humans will match their heuristics. Okay, so how do you stop that from happening? How do you prevent that? They track every single thing that you do, right? There is a major link, and that is Jagex is messing up, but you're a Jagex dick rider, so you won't admit it. I'm not a Jagex dick rider. I've said numerous times there appears to be a problem on Jagex's end. Like, I don't understand the problem. I'm not being a Jagex dick rider. I support some of the stuff Jagex does, but just because I say, hey, the Jagex account system is a good system, doesn't make me a dick rider. It just makes me a logical fucking person. It's called not being a dipshit for no reason. You can only prevent it by adding detection client side. Tracking that stuff on the server side is terrible. So adding detection on client side would mean having an anti-cheat system, right? Which is what they want to, to my understanding, is what they want to do. But they just, I don't think they want to do it with the Java system, correct? Maybe it could be working anti-cheat system. No one knows, so their method is undetectable. Kind of ideal for anti-botting. That's assuming it works well with very few false bans. Well, that's it. At the end of the day, there aren't actually that many false bans in the game. They just are being a loud minority at the moment on Twitter, which is making it look bigger than it actually is, right? You are still part of a very, very vast minority. No, very, very small minority, sorry, with false bans. That made me laugh. Shut up. The video started off so loud. Yeah, I know. It fucking scared me. So I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. They did have multipliers and client shuffling in RS3 back in the day. Cluster flutter, okay. But it wasn't a detection system, just a code scrambler. They need actual detection system. I think I think from what I said earlier, at the end of the day, it's not about the detection system for me. I think the detection system's doing its job because people are getting banned, and botters are getting banned. Well, not at the rate we want, obviously. We would like it if it was more. But it's not about the banning system. It's about the appeal system, right? If the appeal system is checking you and still banning you when you've done nothing wrong, then there's a problem with that. I think I would rather have a system that bans just in case and reimburses you and quashes it if it was wrong after a human check, than a system that just bans and then just denies everything and says, no, you were banned regardless. I think if the appeal system worked better, you would have less problems. People will get appealed. People won't complain. They won't complain as much. People will be reimbursed for, say you were banned for 3 days and it gets appealed, gets quashed, you get 3 days of membership given back to you, you'll be good. Funny how even ModMakeK, who works at the bloody company, alludes to nefarious shit going on, yet you as someone who can only speculate will sit there and think everything is fine and dandy. I never said anything's fine and dandy, Tyrannosaurus Rex. Put your head out of your ass. I've not said that once. I've been sitting here trying to play both sides of the coin. And I think you have to be ignorant to assume that people won't lie to get their account unbanned when they've been cheating, botting, and real trading, just as much as they will say that they're innocent when they actually are. The fact is that there are more people who are breaking the rules that are getting banned than there are that aren't. It's not even fucking questionable. It's banning based on heuristics, which can give false bans. You look like a bot because the bot mimics human behavior. It should never ban based on how you look. I think I don't know how bots are looking. I've not seen a bot in action in a very, very long time. It needs to be 100% confidence or it needs to be fixed. Well, that's the thing. That's why there needs to be human checks, right? From what I understood from that video, there's automated. It's fully automated, right? There's only human checks if we ask a JMod to check into it. Otherwise, the human check is basically like a short window of yes or no, and that's if it's still being outsourced, which apparently it might not be. Never seen a false ban from VAC or Vanguard. Just get anti-cheat and everyone would be happy. That's what I believe they want to do. With I think it was Vanguard, if it's the same as Valorant. And that's how they want to tackle it. But apparently it won't work with the current client. How does heuristics apply to a real trade false ban and instantly denied appeal though? I don't know. What are people getting mad at you for as if you ban them? No, Tyrannosaurus Rex just has brain damage and can't construct a simple argument. I was falsely banned, but I can't prove it. It's simple, I understand it, and we still need a system in place to stop the bots, so I get it. Too many people using it for real bots. Moving on. Pretty much, yeah. Been on the game since 04 and on OSRS since it came out. Never been banned on OSRS, and I play way too much. And the only times I was banned, muted pre-OSRS was deserved. Break rules, get banned, and end. Yeah. Vanguard is a kernel level anti-cheat though, so people would be less likely to install something like that. If you don't have a choice, then you don't play the game. But I mean, look, it's up to you as well. Like, I don't fucking have a problem installing an anti-cheat at the end of the day if it means I can play a game. I've never had a problem with an anti-cheat on my computer. I don't even know if I've got anti-cheats on my computer. I don't have Valorant installed. I don't know if Tarkov has one, Fortnite, Power World, Dota 2. I don't know what they've got. I'd never see it. But if it means I can play the game, then I'll fucking install it, you know? Sent Donut as a question. Sorry, I saw it and I completely blanked it. I do apologize. Thank you for the $10, man. Completely off topic, sorry. Been dying to ask for ages. Should I point boost to get Slayer unlocks or just grind tasks for XP? For context, I need everything I want to point boost. Point boost. Go point boost until you have your Slayer helmet and your bigger and badder and your broader fletching and stuff, and then you can make up your mind after that. PUBG does have anti-cheat that you install, yes. The detection system, I'd say, is a bigger problem. A false positive, in this case, is worse than a false negative, but people lie, so hard to say. I would say if you're getting more successful bans than you are false bans, then you're winning, right? At the end of the day, I think the system is working if you are getting... If less than 1% of bans are false bans, then the system's working on paper. It's not good enough, but I think over 99% of bans being deserved bans, I think that's a good thing, right? We don't know the numbers. It would be good to know the numbers, but I'd imagine that'd be the case. 95% of bans are accurate. I'd say it's probably more than 95%, but 95% is probably a more fair number. I don't know. I would like to think it's more. But if less than 1% of bans are false, then it's a good sign, right? Brain damage. You have an incredibly bias towards Jagex throughout all of this. Oh, but the majority of players are botting. That means it's okay to ban the innocents. You fuck up. No. That doesn't even make sense. And I haven't been on a bias with Jagex throughout this at all. You're not even making sense. You haven't been watching the fucking video. This takes into account suicide bots, which are rampant. Yes, it would. Absolutely. Yeah. Played the game since 2006. Only time I got banned was when I was using a bot back in RS2. Never had a false ban and don't really believe most of these people. That's up to you. It doesn't matter what your opinion is at the end of the day, right? Like, it doesn't matter if we think if they were right or wrong. The majority of players are not botting. Yeah, the majority of players are not bots. I think the biggest issue here is not the ban, it's the fact that there isn't any reliability in the appeal system, which is exactly what I've been saying. That's what I think. I think the appeal system needs to be improved more than the ban system. I think if the ban system needs to be an anti-cheat system and that makes the ban system better and more accurate, then that would be great. If that makes that number even, if it makes it easier to, if it brings the number closer to 100% of positive bans, that'd be fucking perfect. But if we've got false bans, if there is even if there's a decent number of false bans, which there appears to be, the appeal system needs to be better. Even when they're banned 95%, 5% of players are banned, a bot account can be created in a second. Suicide bot per se, human being banned ain't making another account. Exactly, which is why the appeal system needs to be improved, because when they make these mistakes, which they shouldn't do, but if they're going to stay with the system for now, they should make the appeal system more accessible, more approachable, and more in favor of the player to help them get their account back. Because JMods can see if you were banning or not instantly. They can tell. Here's what happened. Jagex entered 2024 thinking they need to crank up their anti-cheat. So they did some tweaks and messed up big time. You know it. I know it. We all know it. Stop fronting, you Fugazi. I don't think that's what's happened at all. A lot of these people that are claiming bans happened before 2024. Their anti-cheat system, they cranked up the banning of third-party clients. But no, I'm not sure if they fucked up. I don't think that's the case at all. I'm not entirely sure. I think they can do better. I don't think they've just gone and accidentally banned a fuck ton of people all of a sudden. A lot of these bans are coming from a long time ago. Mine got banned in 2021. A lot of people in the chat are saying they've been banned for X amount of years. Tons of people are getting banned on third-party clients. People are lying. A lot of people are. Absolutely right. There's been a lot of third-party client bans very recently. No, the anti-cheat system is working with the price of bonds going up drastically. We just need them to fix the appeal system. I think that would be good, yeah. When they make these mistakes, players might quit. Yep, Jagex can get bad rep. Bots aren't quitting or complaining. They just make another, so the only people it affects is legit players. Yes. I think they should absolutely work on a better appeal system if they can't do anything with anti-cheat anytime soon. Every time I've been banned on RuneScape has been well-deserved. Yep, same. Jagex said many times not to play third-party clients that are not approved. Yep. But that's where I'm going to just wrap up that bit there. We'll go back to playing the hardcore now. I think an appeal system change would be really nice. I don't know if I'm going to touch more on this subject personally unless something more comes out. I want to think about it and have a look at some of the people's stories again. But I think from where I'm sitting, the appeal system could do with a lot more love than it has. It could be a lot more player-friendly. Because if it's only, like Mod Matt K said, it's only checking 3 things. Did you do it? Was it hijacked? And what was the other thing it was asking? I can't remember what. Then if that's all the appeal system's asking and it's automated again, then what the fuck? Like, that's not really an appeal system. It's just, you kind of, it's a very lazy appeal. You're just double-checking, the bot's double-checking its own work. I think having some sort of, was the punishment fit? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, sorry, thank you. So I think a better appeal system in favor of the players might help, provided, which is hard to do, provided they can prevent it from being abused. That's the main thing. What about the false real trade ban? I DM'd you evidence and all I asked is asked, but you won't even care to read or even reply. You're a clown paid off by Jagex. BTC says right about you. I have said numerous times, I've had over 100 people message me and I've gone through a lot of them. I haven't replied to almost any of them because I've got fucking countless of fucking, look at this, message requests. Look at all this shit. Look how many people are reaching out to me to ask about the bands to get them to get me to go through their stories. There is so much I've got to read through. So I'm sorry I couldn't single out Tyrannosaurus Rex for a false real trade ban that I haven't seen yet. But the world doesn't revolve around you, and you're not important to me. So I will either get to you when I'm ready, or I won't get to you at all, because fuck you. Okay? It's got nothing to do with Jagex paying me off. I've got shit to do. Alright? Now, I'm going to leave the Hanani video there. Thank you. Shout out to Hanani. And I will link the video to you guys, actually, so you can go and give her a like
Countless
and show some
people.
support. And then we'll go play the Hardcore Ironman. There you go. There's the video. Go drop a sub if you haven't already. She's nearly at 100k. Help her get there. Let's play some fucking hardcore and make fun of Tyrannosaurus Rex. I'm sure he's going to continue to make a fucking fool of himself, which is the best part. Should we pull up his reply? Should we pull it up on stream and see what his little fucking gay baby story is? This is the easiest room in the raid. It's quite simple. You got a big boy. Look at him. God damn. Fuck me. Look at that boy. It's huge. You got a big boy.